Ready for battle. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 1. Capture the objective.
United, nothing will stop. Greetings. Hello there. Hey.
Hello everyone. Look, it may be a little bit of a jump scare just hearing casters all of a sudden, but we got a couple of technical issues, and Visored and DhillDucks is happening right now. But trust me, Dexatron and me got you in your hands. Dexatron, my play-by-play for now, and I'm going to be the color caster, filling for the moment.
Yeah, and you have to see Visor here get the touch, just get overtime going here. Redexo immediately starts off with a beat of their own. Pulse bomb coming out there from Riser, not going to be able to find anyone as Lava just swinging in their hands, trying to find anyone they can. Visor does get the flip here, though, to keep them alive on this point, but they're just looking for anything to give them a little bit of an advantage in this fight. Amadian just trying to get anything going as DhillDucks just having to rotate back off the point here. But Visor, I mean, they use all those ultimates early on. Amadian, though, going to be able to find Frothy right there. That's a huge pick, getting rid of that Kiriko there. Visor now has a huge opportunity here to kind of commence in and be a little bit more aggressive.
Right, and a couple of really good picks from the side of Visored, definitely setting up the match finally onto their side, because from what we were able to see right there, Dexatron, is just the DhillDucks show. Bass on the tank, if you know them from a couple of community tournaments like VPL, definitely a highlight on this team with Frothy, Philly, and Redix, really solid backline. And Visored having people like Amadian and Two Fish, definitely showing that they have some really good members on their side as well. Visored slowly coming back. Frothy, Philly has this continued rush, and this will be the difference.
Yeah, Casino Rush coming out here from both sides right now. Each team trying to use to the best of their abilities right there, but it's going to be Lava finding Tristan off in that backline. And now, though, the Ugra lose Amadian on the other side there. Both soldiers out, but DhillDucks will lose Redx there. A huge pickoff there for Visor, getting rid of that big support right there. It's huge for them. The Pulse Bomb Stick, though, going to come out. They're not going to be able to kill Lava, but it does hurt that health pool there a little bit to the point where they have to dive back out of that fight. 70% here and counting for Visor right now, and you do see Baz there dive onto the backline for Visor, not going to be able to find anyone as both of those supports have to use their ability. themselves out. Primal Rage coming out there. Tristan gonna be able to land that railgun shot there on the Two-Fish, but it's gonna be Tristan immediately losing their life to Lava right there with the melee, but Red X finds a Madian right back. Visor though doing a good job keeping the point capture throughout this right now, but DhillDucks have the advantage.
Right, DhillDucks they don't really have the advantage. I think they've won just all of this, but Zoolander believes in something else. They have to use the beat in order to contest, getting a little bit of damage onto Lava, but it doesn't matter because they're just about to get that Primal Blade, as some would call it. Tristan, beautiful hack, beautiful virus, and it looks like this is the beginning of the end, Dexatron. DhillDucks definitely putting on a clinic, and Visored almost going back, but this is not over yet.
No, not over at all. Pulse Bomb coming out there, not going to be able to find anyone, and Virtue will lose their life for it there. No one from Visored able to get back and touch the point in time, and the DhillDucks, after almost letting that map slip away from them, able to cap that point right there and go up 1-0 in the map.
Right, and definitely a little bit of a rush / scuff beginning to the match, Dexatron. You know, we didn't quite get the time to know each other, but I'm sure we'll get along just fine during this match, because this is looking like it's going fast. Like, look, Visored and DhillDucks definitely going neck to neck, but DhillDucks definitely has advantage when you have Bass on the tank slot. Trust me, I think I've played against them before. And this is just, it's painful. Like, whether you're a support, whether you're a DPS, this guy's going to show you what playing Monkey is all about. And Symmetra on the side of DhillDucks just to get that quick DP, I'm assuming, and then switching onto the Tracer to put pressure onto the backline so that Prothophyli just doesn't get to heal forever. And Madian on the Sojourn, and this is just a little bit from mirror comp, definitely taking high ground faster on the side of DhillDucks, and that's a big advantage for them.
Oh, but they immediately get booped off that high ground there by Red X. Lava tries to get it up there, but now DhillDucks just have this high ground hold, hook, line, and sinker right now. You do eventually see Lava get up there on that backline as DhillDucks try to rotate off, but they immediately kind of get melted down right there. Madian, though, gonna be able to find Frothy, a huge pick off there for Visored. As the point does open up, Baz, though, gonna immediately be able to trade out there onto Virtue. As you do see Riser here, just kind of trying to maybe get around to the backside of the map there. Madian, though, has to fall back to get healed up here a little bit, but still, no one has really capped the point just yet, even with those early picks coming out from either side. And honestly, both those picks have kind of gone by the wayside as they're all both back into the fight already here. Visor, though, incredibly close to capping the point here. Riser gonna be able to find Lava right there. Will that be what caps on the point? No, it won't, as DhillDucks now looks to be in control of it.
Right, DhillDucks has been in control the entire time, and just getting that Symmetra TP a little bit faster to that high ground other than Visored, right? Like, just taking it for yourself. Now they have to get to go on to you, so they don't get to plan, they don't get to scout as much as you're doing. DhillDucks is definitely on the driver's seat right now, and Razor is about to get a Pulse Bomb. Same goes for Virtue, but who will hit it first? Who will get the 2-swat is going to be the question that matters first. High ground taken away from DhillDucks, and this is Visored slowly taking the point for them.
Yeah, right there. The beat coming out here from Reddick very early on. Pulse Bomb coming out from Virtue will find Tristan, but Razor comes right back with one of their own on a Zoolander right there. A little bit of a better pick right there, in my opinion, if you're DhillDucks, but you lose Frothy as well, but you're going to immediately trade out for Two-Fish and a Madian. You will take that trade every day of the week. Lava starting to clean up the fight here, but DhillDucks still holding on to the point here as a couple of their members still straggling around, just trying to make sure they hold on this point as long as they can, but eventually they're going to have to just give it up.
Right, they have to give it up, but this doesn't mean that they are losing the fight at all. Trust me, Lava, a little bit of a half HP, and this Kitsune could melt them before they get their Primal Rage. And it could happen, it could maybe not, but this is one mirror away from each other, and this is the beat taken out from them. Bass has a Primal, and looking onto the support, you're in big trouble.
Yeah, they pop that Primal Rage immediately. Lava popping one of their own, trying just to section off Tristan right there. The healing is only going to do so much and prolong the inevitable death, but hey, now you're seeing Visored here pick up a couple kills of Madian, though, will fall right there to put DhillDucks and maybe a little bit of a fighting chance in this one here, but that Winston gonna make sure that Frothy is sent packing back to the spawn. Virtue finding Riser out as well.
They get Lava hurting, but they don't finish the job at all, and you end up paying for it and losing the point and losing the fight, and just Lava putting on a high leg reel right there. Dexatron, beautiful play from them, but it's not over yet. Look, overclock coming out from the side of DhillDucks, same goes for Visored, and it looks like they are definitely in control right now. DhillDucks not looking as good as before, and Tristan goes down. This is a fight that you cannot take anymore. You have to get out. Dexatron, it's slowly slipping away from between their fingers. 60%. This could be your second to last fight if played right from Visored.
Yeah, and you're starting to see Visored here really target Tristan a little bit. Maybe they're recognizing that if they get rid of that Sojourn early, they give themselves a much better opportunity right now. But you talked about the Pulse Bombs ready for both sides, the Overclock's ready for both sides here. Both Pulse Bombs last time did find picks, but I mean,
Ooh, overclock.
I'm gonna get stuck there, but the Suzu gonna be able to keep Tristan alive. Tristan now gonna try to get some revenge of their own. Amadian though popping their overclock as well, but it will be Amadian winning that duel there, making sure they get Tristan out of the fight. And again, the DhillDucks have to keep in this fight here. That percentage is not building up in their favor. Amadian will be taken out there. However, they're gonna find Zoolander as well, and now DhillDucks looking to be in control. Just have to clean up the rest.
And I hate to say it because I am assured that all of these players could gap me 10 times out of 10 in my copper rank, right? But I just have to say, right, Visored gets the pick. Amadian has such an advantage because you're playing against Tristan, who has half HP, you're on high ground, both of you are overclocking, and then they get a little bit too overconfident. They push when they really don't have to, and they end up trading Red X with like your Zoolander going on a rampage. And this is Two Fish getting a little bit of an off angle. Beautiful Kitsune onto the high ground. This belongs to them.
Dueling Kitsune Rushers coming out here. You see the support trying to come out there, but Lava finds Tristan, who goes over to that Cassidy, and now Lava finding two, throwing some hands around Amadian, making sure they're getting their name in the kill feed. But again, it's just the Lava show right now, doing all the damage and leaving the cleanup for their supports. The beat will come out from Zoolander as they assure us a 3rd point here on Oasis.
And that's not a Primal Rage, that's a Primal Blade right there. Lava definitely showing us what the monkey's all about. Razor gets a little bit of a last pick, but it doesn't matter. Round 2 goes as fast as round 1 went, and DhillDucks may have had their point, like that point just belonged to them the entire time, right? This first, the first point going to them so hard, right? Like it's just such one-sided. And now Visored does the same thing right back to them, right? And now in this map, you cannot really play the monkey. You don't have the high ground. You really don't have like the space to really just play. It's too open for you. So the Orisa comp is going to be the switch. This has been the meta for a little bit of a long while. We don't know what's going to happen in season 10, but what we do know is that Razor is going to TP them out of spawn just to get to that place a little bit faster, switching onto the Tracer and putting on that pressure. Amadian is going to be on Kree, and that's the difference maker. I think Sojourn is a little bit better, but Kree is going to make it really hard for Razor to go in without having to be scared of that name. So watch out for that. High ground belongs to DhillDucks, but Visored has a little bit of a closer distance to the point.
Yeah, and all of the DhillDucks do the same thing with Amadian, or with, or Tristan going over to the Cassidy towards the very end of that second point there. Really didn't find the value that they were looking for there because they were the first one taken out of the fight here. But again, it seems like these two teams really do respect each other a lot. Just trying to find an opening pick, but right now Lava is sitting on the point, already above 50% capped right there before Baz decided to come contest him. Razor, though, coming in, getting very close there onto Virtue, and eventually Frothy will be able to find Virtue right there.
Yeah, and that is just going to be the Virtue pick. There's no more pressure onto your backline. Frothy Philly will get to do whatever they want. That this is just taking over the point. DhillDucks takes it, and while they kind of want to crawl back in, Lava will be pushed out. And I hate to say it, but I was just a filler caster for it. Now you're going to have Monty Neva with you. A much better caster, I can assure you. Thank you for the opportunity, and good luck on your casting, guys.
Oh my god, thank you so much, Biscuit, for filling in for me. I am here, I am back from work, and I am so into this round 3 we have on Oasis, of course. We are going to see the DhillDucks get the point objective so far. 20% on the board, and they're just kind of putting a lot of pressure into the middle here, trying to see Tristan go over to the right room and trying to get a little bit of picks being on the Kiriko there. But now we have a double Kitsune going on in the middle of the point, and a beautiful start to the team fight being won with the tank of Risa completely going down for the count. Big recall coming in, and now the point has completely flipped back in the favor of Visored. The pulse does get spent here as well in this team fight, but regardless, it's still going to be a 1 match for Visored so far as the point continues to tick towards a more even percentage.
And the DhillDucks losing out big in that fight. They're invested 2 ultimates, but now 1 coming out from Visored.
Oh, the big drop, the B drop does come down as well. We're starting off really strong in this next team fight. No one quite going down quite yet. We're gonna be securing with the high noob, but unfortunately gets completely canceled out. The side of Visored utilizes their sound barrier as well as they sustain to sustain themselves a little more. But unfortunately, it looks like the team fight has to kind of end now. We're starting to go right a little bit more down. The side of DhillDucks does have to retreat as they try to get the rest of their team together and cohesive for maybe a full-on push with Tristan's overclock.
Yeah, I mean, the DhillDucks, they lost Baz there pretty early on in that last engagement, but they find Virtue here to get everything started, and they have that overclock of their own here. Lava, though, does have a great kind of counter ult with that Terror Surge ready to go.
Absolutely, there's an overclock we're talking about right now, and again, we're going to be putting all that pressure onto Lava. Unfortunately, Lava does go down for the count. Now is looking really good for the DhillDucks as they get not 1, but 2 people in that team fight, only securing just 1 ultimate, which is that overclock. They have pretty much 3 ultimates ready for his next team fight. And although they have a really big discrepancy in the percentage right now, it's definitely looking a lot cleaner than it had been before, like looking a lot more like a team effort to maintain this point.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, Visored, they're still holding on to that Terror Surge of their own. They have the Kasuna Rush, but Lava investing that Terror Surge early here. Same thing with Baz in that backline.
2 Terror Surge do get utilized, and as well as Frothy's Kitsune Rush to boot. So now it's a little bit more further in DhillDucks' favor, but now we also have the returning Kitsune Rush coming in from 250. He does get burnt out here. The pulse also gets extended, but it does not land on anyone, unfortunately. Team fight still going strong for Visored, however, as they're slowly pushing out DhillDucks literally outside this point, and it forces Redux to utilize their beat drop, and they have to somehow recapture the point in their favor if they don't want this to keep ticking down towards 99%. A Maiden, beautiful headshots on Frothy, but now your tank is gone. What do we do? It's up to the rest of Visored to get some picks here and there. Love to back and forth, but the point does flip right back in favor of DhillDucks.
And right now, if you're Visored, you have to try to get out of this fight here with your lives. You can't be staggered out like this. Yeah, that beat from Zoolander was invested there late, but just the pressure there from DhillDucks forced everyone from Visored off the point. Now you have a high noon. That's all you really have while the DhillDucks are coming up on that overclock on the pulse bump. It should be enough to win them a fight here, but high noon coming out from a Madian.
Oh, does anyone get captured? No, everyone kind of hiding around. Lots of wait time. Basically, a time waster ultimate. They're at 96%, but now they took it right back. Now it's 92, 96, only ticking even further. We're going to be seeing a couple ultimates as well. We do see Tristan popping out with the overclock once again. Razor also on the back end does have that pulse ready to go, but there it is. Only one hit on there for Tristan on a Maiden, so not too much value, but we do get a little bit of a trade here. The fight is still ongoing. It has somehow flipped in the back end for DhillDucks. Lava is down. Wait, this might actually be it. It's only the Kitsune Rush coming in for the side of Visored that can keep them alive even longer. It's all up to Virtual and this Tracer to just kind of stall and waste a little bit of time and get their team right back for this next team fight. And it's still going. Virtue goes down for the count. The overtime burner is burning fast. The wick is going down. Everyone is kind of staggering in. The last minute doofus from Lava also has to make an appearance, and we have enough time for the beat drop to also come and secure another chance, but unfortunately we get pushed out of the objective. DhillDucks do obtain the point on OWCS after an amazing 3 rounds.
And a very back and forth map here between these two teams. I mean, first map was maybe a little bit one-sided towards DhillDucks, but Visored kind of came alive there late, weren't able to win that first point though. Then the second point, I mean, again, really back and forth, but Visored, they seem to be a little bit of a better team here, especially playing around the high grounds, and their DPS really did step it up. But on this last point, when you swapped everything over to those Orissas, it was basically just, you know, Baz and the DPS line there for DhillDucks, able to find those picks early, help that team out, as well as that support line. Frothy was doing such a good job keeping everyone alive through some clutch Suzus as well. I mean, everything there for the DhillDucks was firing on all cylinders, but same thing for Visored. I mean, they aren't far behind with how they want to play this series.
Absolutely, and I mean, like, I just loved how back and forth it felt. It felt like such an evenly paced game, an evenly paced match. I mean, at some point, you know, DhillDucks had flipped it in the middle of the team fight back in their favor, and then suddenly they were in the lead. They were getting the staggers, they were getting the picks, and it just worked out so beautifully in the very end. And something like control point, I mean, sometimes it's so difficult to find a way to kind of break in when the other team has really set themselves up, and I think Visored did a great job. It was just that those last little moments in the overtime that really made it or broke it for them in the end.
Yeah, absolutely, but this is one map of a long series here, and I feel like we have ourselves a good series on our hands. A lot of the series so far today, from what we've seen, have been 3-0s, but this first map here really gave me a lot of confidence in not only DhillDucks, but Visored. I feel like this Visored team will be able to kind of outpace this DhillDucks teams at certain points, but I feel like the biggest kind of shift we're seeing today in how the teams are playing is we're seeing a lot more Winston than maybe what I kind of expected coming into the day. I thought Orisa was kind of that mainstay tank, but now we're starting to see teams kind of slowly go back to the Winston a little bit, and it was something that was brought up a lot on both the A stream and the B stream. It's just speed, that pace of play. At the end of the day, speed will kill, and if you're not going to be able to keep up with it, then man, you're gonna be falling by the wayside.
Oh, for sure, especially as we move into the next game mode, the next phase, we are going to be seeing a switch over to Hollywood. First of all, one of my favorite maps in the game. Second of all, that's where you were talking about that Winston may really shine as a composition. So it's going to be really entertaining to see how that speed and how that change of momentum, either slowing it down or ramping it right back up, will be favorable to either team here.
Yeah. Absolutely, but you know, you brought up the Winston, Hollywood known as a little bit of dive map on that first point, on the second point as well. If you make your way all the way to the third point, I feel like we could see something like we saw there on OWCS, where maybe that Orisa comes back out if, you know, just because of how close quarter it is, not necessarily a lot of good diving opportunities. But yeah, we're seeing the Winston starting out here for both sides. Actually, it's a mirror match for both sides, and this is what I truly expect to see throughout the series here today. I mean, Tracer is a mainstay at the moment. You can't really play without a Tracer. The Sojourn is by far the most swappable DPS. I mean, we even saw it there from both teams on the last map. Both brought out Cassies at points. I feel like we could see some other heroes come out as well. But we're starting to see the value of these two supports right now. This Kiri Lucio line. I mean, Lucio is there for the speed. Kiri is there for the healing. Both can do that at a great amount. And hey, they can both do a decent amount of damage here. And we talked about it. We've talked about it. The Winston is there for a dive, for the speed, and they have a good kind of kit. They have that bubble there to keep them alive. But right now, I mean, we saw it there a little bit. The DPS were kind of getting caught out on that first point from both sides. Don't want to do that here early if you're Visored.
You absolutely don't, and like we're saying how we're going over to the high ground, or really immediately taking that control space coming in from the side of the DhillDucks, and now it kind of forces Visored to play a little more grounded, which is not really what you want to see on Hollywood's a height-dominated map. So as we go into this next round, I mean, Lava is already down for the count almost immediately. The point is being tickled by DhillDucks as they kind of almost wipe out the entirety of Visored within the first couple of seconds of Hollywood, and it might be a full cap here, unless someone can you know, touch a little bit, even the Tracer, but Virtue opting to not, you know, go through. Looks like we're going to be seeing Visored set up for a second point.
And I talked about it a little bit there, and I talked about the DPS normally being the ones that are overextending a little bit, but that time it was actually Lava who overextended, because they saw Tristan less than 50% of that health pool. They tried to get rid of them there, but it ended up costing them their own life, as everyone for the DhillDucks was right there to dive right on them, and then it just domino affected there for Visored. But right now, I mean, no ultimate's gonna be ready early, other than this Consuming Rush from Frothy. If they want to use it early, I think we'll catch Visored off guard.
They absolutely will, and honestly, it's such a great for Frothy to have that Consuming Rush already ready. Those Roost cooldowns really do help so much. Kind of doing a little poke battle here. The cart is moving very, very slowly but surely here, as Visored is trying to kind of, you know, put in some damage, keep that damage passive going, and the newly added one. This bolt actually sticks, but an impeccable Suzu coming in from top and save the teammate, but is it really gonna happen for any longer? No, unfortunately. The rest of Visored kind of picks right back up, although the pulse bomb did not actually get the target they're going for due to the great Suzu. DhillDucks still falls back in line and goes back to spawn as Visored sets himself right up on that high ground.
But you bring up a good thing there. They used that Suzu to save the pulse bomb, and because they used it there, they had nothing to really stop out that dive there from Visored right after that. Yeah, the Consuming Rush came out there from them as well, and that's all they really needed to there. It was a response kind of fight there for Visored, but now DhillDucks, they have some ultimates to play with here. How will Visored respond?
There's that big old primal coming from Baz, around the high ground, kind of pushing everyone away, save for Lava, but now they're also down for the count, and Baz getting a little bit too low. Thank you to get a health back. We're going straight into the fray as the rest of the kind of falls forward. They get to the high ground, they take care of the rest of the team of Visored, including Toothfish and Lava again. Big recall coming from Razor, and it forces Iden just kind of back up and regroup with the team. Virtue getting a very, very late death there, so the staggering is definitely still happening. We still don't have the pulse bomb from Virtue, but we at least do have the sound barrier and the primal from Zoo and Lava at least.
And the biggest thing for DhillDucks in that last fight, they only used one ultimate. Now that they have 3 to go in this one here, Visored will have the same thing. But, I mean, DhillDucks are on this attack right now. I feel like that gives them a little bit of more momentum here. First, holding on to this pulse bomb. If they do the same thing they did last time, forcing out that Suzu early, you might see the same kind of result. But they're not going to have that pulse bomb.
No, but we are going to be seeing a really good Primal being on the back line, but maybe not too well. We kind of forgot about the objective. Thankfully, Winston is a jumpy boy. He comes back to the objective fast enough. We also burn out the sound barrier coming from Zoolander, and the rest of the team of DhillDucks is still trying to get to the objective, but unfortunately, they're forced to back out after a loss on one of their teammates, forced to over to the high ground. Thankfully, the whole team can get there so quickly. Oh my god, even quicker is Lava going back to the spawn room, and the point caps right underneath their noses. Visored has to kind of regroup and find a new game plan for this third point.
Yeah, and here's the thing, they found one pick, and I don't blame Lava for diving up onto that high ground to try to see where the DhillDucks were, but at the same point, everyone for the DhillDucks was up there, and it was just one little mistake of being over-aggressive, and that's been the second time this map that Lava going a little bit over-aggressive has kind of hurt them and their team. Now, over almost 4 minutes on that time bank here, the DhillDucks in a prime spot, but Visored starting it all off with the Kitsune Rush here.
I love this Kitsune Rush. You have a little bit of high ground, you have a little bit of low ground as well, getting those, reaping those benefits of that ultimate, and so much so that it kind of, you know, keeps Baz away from the team for a bit. He's not all by himself, where it burns the Primal for that extra survivability and somehow finds a way back to the team without losing that life. We are going to be seeing DhillDucks have the overclock ready. Tristan kind of poking out, saying, can I pop it? And we definitely do right now. Lava has to force out the bubble as Tristan goes right forward. No protection here. It's going to be up to pretty much the rest of DhillDucks to follow through on that overclock. And honestly, Dreiser is right there with you with that pulse bomb right on Lava once again. Really great push. And suddenly the cart is skedaddling to third point, almost capping with almost 3 minutes of spare.
Yeah, but Lava has this Primal Rage coming up here. Pulse bomb though from Virtue. They need to find that stick there, in my opinion, to keep them alive in this fight.
Oh, big overclock coming in. Also a bigger pick here on Tristan. That means that there's really no other way for the DhillDucks to get away from this overclock coming in from Maiden. Gets a really great pick on Redux alongside Lava's Primal. And Lava also just kind of beats out Baz in that Wisdom 1v1. Just all up to Razor. Maybe to push to just contest the car a little bit. And unfortunately not going to be enough. Has to get sent right back to spawn. We at least have the Kitsune Rush coming in from Frothy. To kind of facilitate a win here for DhillDucks, but right now Visored looking very strong on this very last portion of Hollywood.
Yeah, they have the beat ready to go here. They're going to have the Kitsune Rush as well to kind of counter out Frothy's Kitsune Rush as well, but Razor having this Pulse Bomb is going to be the biggest thing. We talked about how Virtue was able to find a Pulse Bomb stick that forced out of Suzu. This is what Razor needs to do here. Do the exact same thing. Try to force out Suzu early so the rest of your team can dive on, because you're not far away from a Primal Rage as well for the DhillDucks.
I love this Kitsune Rush coming in from the corner, kind of opens up all this space suddenly, but it was not truly enough. Unfortunately, it's going to be DhillDucks again being sent all the way back, pretty much to spawn. Tristan getting a pretty last-minute kill on Lava, but will it be enough? Absolutely not. Has to regroup with the team. Just up to Redux to just kind of fall back. We still have the pulse. We still have Primal booting up, and we also have Virtue's pulse on the back end. So anything can really happen as the cart slowly moves away from the objective.
Yeah, at this point right now, I mean, Visored, if you talked to him about 2 fights ago, maybe they're just trying to eat some time away, but right now they have that time right there, about a little over a minute here. They see it right now. They can full hold it here, but DhillDucks coming up on some ultimates right now. Speaking of, here's the Primal Rage.
That's Primal Rage getting on Virtue of all people. That pulse bomb they were able to get, unable to actually get anyone's target. So again, it's going to be up to Tristan to get rid of Lava. Unfortunately, the pressure is a little bit too much in the back end while everyone was getting pushed around by Primal, while everyone was getting exploded by Pulse, while everyone was getting destroyed by the Lucio Boops. Suddenly the cart is at all 3 points. With literally a minute and a second to spare.
Yeah, 61 seconds, a good time bank here for the DhillDucks, but you have to remember how much time they really had going into that final point there. So, and especially how far they got on that first push there. Visored did a good job just slowing it down a little bit, whittling that time back down. Yeah, they would love to think that maybe they could get a little bit lower, or hell, even have completely got down to 0 and held them there at the final checkpoint right there. But DhillDucks did everything right there. I feel like Baz going aggressive with that Primal Rage captured Visored off guard enough. They got that early pick, and then you kind of saw it there for a little bit. It was just Baz kind of pushing everyone away from the cart, and Visored had to use everything in their bag to just try to get a contest, and that just left DhillDucks in the biggest advantage they had right there, just to pick them off one by one by one until the map was done. A great showing there for the DhillDucks on that attack, but now, I mean, no big changes from either side. Not necessarily a surprise. I really do fully expect to see these comps throughout the rest of this series here, but Visored, I mean, the mistakes they had there on that point, especially this first point cap, or this first point on defense, came back to bite them a little bit. It gave DhillDucks such a large time bank there. Even if you hold them for one fight, I mean, that gets rid of about 30, 45 seconds. And you look at the difference right there in that time bank, you could be looking at a much more favorable thing if you do force it into overtime here. But you want to try to do the same thing here if you're Visored. Find that early pick, but you know that Baz is not going to necessarily go as aggressive as Lava did on that first round.
You're absolutely right here, and they're trying to go over that high ground, but instead kind of faltering, forces Baz back off the high ground, and everyone is a little bit, using corners, trying to poke out, seeing can they get the objective. Suddenly now we do have Visored just kind of poking their toe on the objective, getting a little bit contesting, forcing some contest from the DhillDucks, and guess what? That means Frosty is out for the count. This is super low there. It gets completely swept out of the air by Virtue on the back end. Virtue may have fallen, but we're still up in numbers to the side of Visored. We're kind of bullying Baz in the corner with the Lucio Speedboost and the Lucio Boops, and now we have a complete the same situation that happened with DhillDucks versus Visored, where Visored have the same amount of time. They're gonna get the objective. They're gonna have so much time to push a second point.
5.5 minutes right there. A good start there for Visored. Like I said, they kind of need to mirror what DhillDucks did. And it wasn't the exact same play. It was actually them finding Frothy out, which, I mean, is something we saw a lot last map, and that really did help them a lot here. But at the moment, Visored, they need to have a good start here. DhillDucks did slow down a little bit because of Visored. And hey, Tristan finding a Madian out early is exactly the slowdown that the DhillDucks were looking for.
Oh, it's perfect. The burst damage is gone. Now it's just all up to DhillDucks to really capitalize on that pick there. They're trying to with Virtue, force the recall coming in as well. And Virtue, we are hiding in the corner, trying to get out of there. We definitely are able to very barely, may I really say. We're pushing the cart slowly, we're going over to the high ground, and we have everyone and their mother up there. The continuing rush just to start something off, reduce cooldowns, and faster healing output from Kiriko does help out a lot, but unfortunately with the returning, with the return of DhillDucks, they were simply unable to capitalize off anything off that high ground. Now we're setting right back up for something really good for DhillDucks. But as I say that, man, the pulse bomb on Tristan as a revenge for getting their teammates. You'd love to see it.
Yeah, the beat though coming out here from Visored, but Baz finds one with their Primal Rage, get everything started here for the DhillDucks.
For sure. And again, this high ground is doing so much wonders for DhillDucks. We're going to be continuing this onslaught, continuing this pressure. Baz does get to a second stick. Maybe not from Virtue, but from Ryder instead on the Kiriko on Twofish. That's huge. You don't have any suits, you don't have any switch steps to get out of there. That's a great hold for DhillDucks once again, using only pretty much two ultimates, the Primal and the Pulse.
And Lava was just the mailman there for that pulse bomb to Twofish. Remember, he got stuck on the lava. Twofish tried to maybe teleport to them, get that Suzu off, but just a little bit too late there. DhillDucks, though, holding on to 3 ultimates right now in the driver's seat here to slow down this cart. Visored does have this overclock ready to go. If they do pop it off here, they better find all the picks they need here because the DhillDucks are ready to go.
We do have the overclock getting popped, and we definitely pop a Maiden right in the face, but thankfully Zoolander is on the attack, making sure that our Winston at least does not go down to that overclock. We're going to be continuing to push this car as much as DhillDucks has to kind of regroup a little bit, find out, okay, we got read, we got cut around, but only to the front as the big jump in from Taz, coupled with the continuing rush for some extra oomph into this team fight. We're going to be continuing on as Twofish goes down for the count very quickly into this team fight. Now this kind of leaves Visored a little bit vulnerable, a little bit open, so much so that unfortunately they have to retreat they have to retreat out, and they honestly look at the time. We had 5.5 minutes. We now have about less than three minutes left.
Yeah, and the continuing rush coming out there from Frothy was the main thing that really got them that slowdown there. They found the one pick, found a lot more value off of here. DhillDucks still holding on to a lot of their ultimates here as Twofish pops their own.
Oh, I love this continuing rush coming in. We do see not one, but 2 picks coming off the back end of that continuing rush. The first from Virtue and Lava. The objective still being pushed towards second point. And so much so we have a last minute touch coming in from Zoolander and Virtue, but is it going to be enough? I don't even think so. I mean, DhillDucks, we missed the pulse. We also utilized the sound barrier in the very last second there, even though honestly, team fight is still going. I agree. We still have the sound. We do have the Doomfist from Baz making a very quick appearance at the last minute contest. He shaved down some of this time to maybe from 2 minutes a little less than. And suddenly it's starting to work out very well. It forced the Primal out after Ramida goes down for the count. We are trying to get something started. We also have the Lava just kind of popping off with the Primal, actually able to pull everyone away from the objective and say, we are going to cap this point. We're going to have 3 minutes to spare.
Yeah, 3 minutes to spare here, so if you're Visored, I mean, you can give up a couple fights here, but you want to try to match that time, give yourself a little bit of a better time bank as well, heading in here to overtime. DhillDucks, though, I mean, we were talking about how good they were holding on to ultimates there. Visored, though, that Kitsune Rush from Twofish found the value it was looking for here, and now, I mean, Twofish close to another Kitsune Rush as well here. Tristan, the only one, and Frothy, the only ones getting ready to have ultimates to go in this fight. Virtue, though, I'm watching out for them here. If they can lurk in that backline, find the pulse bomb pick here early, it will give Visored that opening they are looking for.
You're absolutely right. Big pressure on this shield right here. Gonna be charging up Tristan pretty easily, almost 100%. We also have the overclock on the back end. So I mean, honestly, anything could really happen. Slide out. You're on an own little corridor. So much that Virtue gets stuck in the corner, and Tristan gets a very free headshot on Virtue here. Another instance of now we're up in numbers. Forces Visored to kind of back out a little bit. Understand we have pretty much 3 and a half ultimates at our disposal. DhillDucks also on the back end having 2. Honestly, 4 ultimates also ready for his next team fight, which is happening in a jiffy. We are popping out with a Kitsune Rush coming from Twofish, and we're continuing on this fight as Amida gets a beautiful clean pick on Baz. The tank is gone. It's up to the rest of the team of DhillDucks to attempt to shave down some more time. At least another 30, 40 seconds as we get a last minute touch and a last minute pulse. Doesn't really land on anyone, but it's great to kind of make the space happen. Virtue gets rid of Tristan in the back end, and we're still fighting on the objective, wasting a little more time. Baz gets rid of Virtue. We have the sound barrier coming in as well from Redex, and it's a lot going on here, folks. We are still trying to contest the objective. The suit does get burned. That allows the Primal to be utilized from Lava, which means that we are going to be pushing everyone off the objective the same way that Baz had done so earlier. And are we able to get that started? No. We also have a last minute swap to the Genji from Tristan. Maybe it's just a little more poke, a little more of that execution factor that Genji brings to the table. But it's going to be Unmighted getting rid of Baz in this next team fight. We've shaved off almost a minute here. 9 seconds left until we get under a minute. Twofish getting rid of Razor. Genji, we're trying to get something started, but thankfully we end with almost the exact same amount of time, saved by a simple second of difference.
1 second there, and again, I mean, Visored, they start off that fight perfectly. Yeah, it was a long fight. One that you don't necessarily see that often, but Twofish and that Kitsune Rush. It's what won them that second point, in my opinion. It's what also gets them this third point with that 1 second difference right there. They started off that last engagement there with it. Everyone from their team immediately found value off it, forcing the DhillDucks to really make some swaps there. You saw the Genji come out there. You saw Baz try to come out with the Doomfist there a little bit late, not necessarily get out in time, but I mean, that fight just lasted so long because of how good those two teams were playing here. No swaps from anyone coming out, but I mean, just give everyone credit there for Visored. Virtue, though, we saw them there for a brief moment towards the end of it. They were in that back line finding the value that the Tracer really needs to be finding there. They're there for the cleanup kills. They're there to make sure that no one is safe there, essentially. They found Baz. They helped get rid of Frothy as well there. Amadian, though, they seem just to be kind of all over the place there on that final fight. I mean, you saw Razor there trying to find them down, threw out that pulse bomb, tried to follow up on it, not find them out, and Amadian found 2 huge picks to really help their team out. But now, heading in this overtime, 61 seconds for DhillDucks, 62 here for Visored. And both teams, on their first time through, it was 1 fight and done on this first point. Basically, if you win a fight on this first point, you're in such a better spot here on the defensive side. But if you let it happen the same way it did the first 2 rounds, you're going to put yourself in a really bad spot.
I know, and I mean, that's a really bad spot already to be seen from Virtue. Kind of cornered himself there, unfortunately, got a little bit, just kind of got surrounded by the entirety of DhillDucks, who were utilizing that high ground as another entrance, like they had done so in their previous attack phase. So now suddenly the objective already has a tick on it. We're halfway through the second marker as well, and we have to wait for Virtue to come back to contest even longer, and barely able to contest just before the micro pixel of the next objective was going to be captured. But no, unfortunately, our our main support, our flex support with the main output of healing, our Kiriko is down for the count on the side of Visored. So that means it's going to be another pretty much full force effort in maintaining and capturing the objective, which they will absolutely be doing to the fullest degree. Now we are in overtime at least, so everyone and their mother is going to be on this objective.
In my opinion, though, Visored needed to contest that for about a second longer. They needed Lava to get those forward spawns with them, because now they have to play back a little bit, waiting for Lava to come back. But luckily, Winston is a fast character. They can get back here pretty quickly. Razor, though, and Frothy coming up on their ultimates here. If they get those early, the DhillDucks are in for an easy kind of push through here on second point.
And there you go. Lava is right there at your beck and call, right, waiting for an opportunity to find everyone to get all these objectives. They do not want to push us any further than it really has to, but now it's kind of trekking nicely a third along the route. We're seeing Virtue try to tip to the backline and distract them. We burn out the Suzu, but we also have the continuing rush from Frothy on the back end. We have Razor ready with the pulse, we have Redux building up on that sound barrier. Virtue on the back end for Visor also has the pulse bomb, so anything can really happen as the objective starts to go and climb towards objective B. We're going to be seeing a 10 at a pulse bomb, unfortunately, big old whiff from Virtue, but still a great distraction as we continue the longest team fight we've ever seen. Both the sound barrier and the continuing rush are burned here for Visor to maintain, the elite to maintain, to stop this objective, to defend it, and it's working out so well, getting not one, but both supports, and of course the back end Lava with that primal rage. We're gonna be pushing everyone off the cart. They have made it 4-3 so far, halfway to point B. Does not look impossible for Visor to catch up and surpass DhillDucks so far.
Initiating.
I mean, but give Visor the credit that they need there towards the end. I mean, you saw both support ultimates come out there really as desperation support ultimates, and mostly just to keep Two Fish alive there. But Zoolander and Two Fish did a good job there. That beat and the Kitsune Rush coming out, you do see that pairing a lot, but they were used there in desperation, and it ended up paying off. The DhillDucks, they invested their Kitsune Rush early. Same thing with their Pulse Bomb. Yeah, Pulse Bombs didn't really find any value there for either side, but it was really that Kitsune Rush from Visored. And we talked about how important those Kitsune Rushes were for Two Fish and Visored on their attack last time, basically gapping them that second point and capping them that third point as well. 1 second difference here now for Visor to try to beat DhillDucks on this map, tie up the series. But DhillDucks, I mean, again, I'm gonna say it, it's gonna be the same thing I said about Visor. If you can win a team fight here on this first point defense, which neither team has necessarily done, Visor, yeah, you can say they didn't lose a team fight, but they didn't necessarily engage in one after they lost Virtue in the first overtime round here. If you can win a team fight on this first point here on defense, you pretty much win the map in my opinion here. But if you're Visor, I mean, just play it like you did last time. You played it methodically, you played it, you died at the right points, you had your DPS there to help out, you found Frothy early. You need to try to do that again, or find Tristan, because Tristan popped off last round as well.
You're absolutely right, and I think they're trying to go for the same kind of method of just going, actually they're going straight to the objective. At first they kind of baited out when they first attacked, but this time, man, this new strat of going straight to the objective has resulted in Mylian going down so quickly, and then Virtue as well, kind of late to the party is retreating. Bash is kind of taking care of them with a quickness. Now suddenly they have only 30 seconds left. The desperation does build up. Our players do need to get to that objective and at least contest it. Get those ticks going. This team fight is going to last a couple, not that long, with no ultimates to be utilized quite yet, and Lava's already half health. Has to be forced to come back to the team. No one on the objective so far. Up to Virtue to start the timer as we are burning down in less than 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're finally going to be starting the attack, and again goes down. I agree. Very, very, very bad pick there for Visor to start off with, and then Lava going down right afterwards. This pretty much does go defeat I Fear Dex. A recall on point, but no, it is Raps, DhillDucks having a great hold on their defense.
And like I said, if you could win a fight here on defense on first point, you're going to probably win the map. DhillDucks finally able to do that there for the first time all map. Only took 4 rounds, but hey, it won them the map, puts them up 2-0 in the series, and one more map win away from a sweep in this series. But, I mean, this 2-0 scoreline does not necessarily show you how close this series has been. It has been very back and forth, but when push comes to shove, this DhillDucks team has always been able to just find a way to get on top of this Visor teams. I mean, everyone played great there, but the only thing I could really say, especially for Visored, is you had a little bit of some mistakes there. I talked about on their first round there on defense. It was Lava overextending on the first point that basically lost them that fight and that point. And then on the second point, after they found one pick, they tried to dive onto that high ground just to see what was up. And they just got a face full of everyone there for the DhillDucks. They found that pick and then kind of domino affected there throughout. Got that second point capped as well. But I mean, this Visored team still has shown us a lot. Just DhillDucks, like I said, has always just been able to come out on top when push comes to shove.
Absolutely. I think they just have that finer edge of the blade here. They had the perfect attack. They had a really solid push throughout that third round. And then on the side of for Visored, they had a great defense in order to not allow that objective to even get a single marker unlocked on the opening, right? So I just think that again, they just kind of, like you said, have a slight edge. They kind of came out on top a lot in a lot of these excursions. And I had mentioned it earlier. I think when Visored was attacking before the next round, they had kind of baited out somebody. They baited out the Kiriko, and yeah, they baited out Frothy. Thank you. They baited out Frothy into coming into that little room, and they picked them off almost immediately, and that's how they won that first fight. So unfortunately, they just couldn't mimic it in this round. So that it does put them down to 2 points. But I feel like the scoreboard, even though it's 2 up for DhillDucks, it's been so close every single round, every single game so far. Very entertaining, very much pushback, give and take from either side here. So again, it really could go any way, regardless of the scoreboard being so heavily leaned in DhillDucks' favor right now.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, push come to shove, DhillDucks are always finding just ways to win fights and win maps right now. But we do know what our third map and potential final map of this series will be. We're heading to Esperanza here for our push map. And, you know, throughout the day-to-day, what I've seen Winston be played here. I've seen Orisa be played here. But I still feel like Winston right now is becoming that new kind of mainstay tank. And like I said, going into Hollywood, I don't think we're going to see a lot of swaps from the DPS line or the support line here. I feel like we are seeing the main meta at the moment. But if you are Visored here, it seems like in these last couple maps, or especially there on Hollywood, when you had that momentum, it was very hard to take it away from you. And the only reason that momentum stopped was because the rounds ended. This is one continuous round. If you're able to keep that momentum up, I think we'll see our first map 4 of the night.
Very exciting if you can finally get a match 4 here today. I mean, as you had mentioned earlier, everything so far has been 3-0, correct? So, I mean, just to get some extra play time and, you know, really see the strengths of teams in different maps. I do believe that some teams are just a little better on control, some teams are a little better on hybrid, whereas push is just, we are really duking it out as we move this bot from, you know, to and fro. So like you said, I definitely believe we're probably going to be seeing likely the same meta picks we've been seeing so far. Definitely dive if the composition we see on the screen have anything to say for it.
Yeah, definitely dive. D.Va would be interesting because, yeah, never mind. Going over to the Winston now. I mean, I was gonna say D.Va would be interesting. I mean, it would be able to kind of shut down maybe the overclock, maybe find a pulse bomb eat there. But no, Winston right now is a little bit of that better tank at the moment. And like I said, both these teams, they want to play fast. Speed will kill here. And if you're Visored, I mean, your backs are against the wall here. Yeah, you don't want to be swept. You want to get one win in that total if you do end up dropping the series. But hey, one win could start a reverse sweep here if you are Visored. But DhillDucks, I mean, it's like I said, push comes to shove. They're always seeming to find ways to stay on top of Visored.
And what we're seeing here is, again, DhillDucks is kind of on the objective already. They're kind of pushing in. I love that Vaz is utilizing that little itty-bitty space in the tower as a kind of pseudo-shield, pseudo-pressure without having to actually burn their own shield. But the fight has started now or never. The ball is starting to push already in the favor of Visored, albeit not quite ticking towards. And there it is. A meter has started. We now officially have DhillDucks in the lead as Visored kind of wrap around them. And finally, the team fight is brought to DhillDucks' forefront. And it works out so beautifully for Visored. May have gotten a trade here, but we traded DPS for a tank. So it still looks very much in DhillDucks' favor, as unfortunately, right after Lava goes down, so does Virtue. Now your tank is gone. You don't have the Tracer aspect, of course, one of the best, if not one of the best DPSs at the moment in this meta, and the bot is going to just continue to be pushed forwards as the rest of Visored kind of falls and goes right back to spawn and regroups.
DhillDucks? There you go. There you go. They finally remember the bot right there. But I mean, Virtue right there. They had Frothy in their sights, almost being able to find them right there. If they find that one pick there, I mean, maybe that fight turns. The Kiriko is the main support here for these two teams. The Lucio, yeah, can heal, but not necessarily as much as the Kiriko here. And now Baz starting to take this pressure up onto Visored.
Oh, could have gone to Lucio, but unfortunately was not able to, only because Zoom was kind of just out of there and needed to come back and take the field for the team. The pulse does get dropped here from Virtue. Not really going to be getting anyone, but makes a pretty good amount of space under the bridge as suddenly the fight has taken up to the high ground. A double beautiful Kazuna rush on the bridge here. It really is up to each team to capitalize off of the momentum. And now it's honestly in DhillDucks' favor. You see the primal from Baz kind of pushing everyone away, and it's only going to be continuing to push everyone to now this little itty-bitty enclosed corner, and the bot is going to be continuing to push forward. That was only 2 ultimates used for DhillDucks to win that team fight and keep this moving towards the first point, or the first point.
And they got rid of a big ultimate there from Visored. Twofish invested the Kitsune rush there, which was such a big thing for them last map, and hey, Twofish, first one taken out of this fight.
And like you said, big factor here that Kiriko, your main support, is down. So that means that DhillDucks is going in with the pressure into his little room. I mean, you see Baz kind of in the off angle, kind of just pushing everyone away with that big tanky body of his and the Tesla cannon. So it forces Visored to allow everyone to on DhillDucks to push his ultimate even further. Now we're on the curve, and honestly, we do have the beat drop, we have the point, we have the overclock from Maiden. Any of these can secure something, but the big pulls anyone in the little room. Unfortunately, not gonna get anyone started. But look, now suddenly the bot is in Visored's hands. We're pushing it further as DhillDucks retreats back to the high ground of the bridge, and we still unfortunately Maiden burning the overclock and forces the beat out. Now everyone's pushing right in to this little objective where the mega pack is, and suddenly it's just going everywhere.
Yeah, and still both teams going back and forth right here. I mean, DhillDucks have these forward spawns. They can play a little bit aggressive here, but as the Primal and the Kitsune Rush come out here, DhillDucks are looking like they want to try to win this fight.
Well, we're seeing a double Kitsune Rush coming in, Twofish slightly after Frothy Phillies, and I think that might have been the game changer, just slightly altering the timing of your Kitsune in accordance with your opponent's Kitsune. I mean, you have it for a longer amount of time, and suddenly it just really flipped in Visored's favor. They are finally getting a couple of meters on the map here as they push a little bit forward to make way for the spot to clear out.
Yeah, and again, what I talked about, Twofish's Kitsune Rushes have been pivotal for their team so far this series, but right now, DhillDucks, I think they were okay losing that fight there. Yeah, they're not happy about, but they have the ultimates on their side. Well, Virtue's really the closest one to have anything here, and the Pulse Bomb necessarily won't win you a fight. It will force out some ultimates, but won't win you the fight.
Oh, but we may be seeing a game-winning overclock coming in as well. Using the shield as a barrier, so smart. Everyone forces to stagger out and find some cover. And we find Twofish outside the cover in the air. Beautiful aim from Tristan to secure this opening for the side of DhillDucks. The Primal also gets burned here as we push everyone into the Mega Pack room. Honestly, almost back to their spawn. Lavo being one and done. We are seeing the Pulse Bomb also get utilized from Virtue as a response to that Primal. Unfortunately, was not able to catch the monkey quite in time.
And Pulse Bombs so far this map have just kind of been nothing for either side right there, but that Primal Rage from Baz was huge. Finds Lava out there, has to stagger Visored here a little bit, and they start to extend their lead here as we cross over that halfway mark. But right now, Visored kind of back in control when it comes to ultimates, but hey, a Pulse Bomb finds a pick!
And like you said, they didn't have been that good recently, but Razor is just honestly telling us to shut up and getting a great pick on Lava there, and we're going to be continuing onwards. Unfortunately, even though we did get Baz out of here, not Baz, Lava out of here, DhillDucks is still pushing this objective much further than anticipated. We're going to be seeing them start to go around that bend, around the lamppost, or the light post, but the overclock from Maiden maybe generation here as we pop it immediately. The entirety of Visor is just trying to get DhillDucks here, but they have found a way through every single corner, every single alleyway to get back to this bridge, and unfortunately burned that overclock. Did not get much value as the rest of the team starts to dive onto the backline, forces out the two fishes Kitsune Rush, but no one is there to capitalize. We're seeing a Tracer 1v1 on point. Who is going to win? Who is going to win? Oh, I love Tracer 1v1. So...
But hey, they reached the spawns.
Oh, they did? Yes.
And this is, I mean, the Tracer 1v1s are very interesting. This might be one of the more interesting ones, considering I don't think, yeah, Virtue's not necessarily winning this fight, but they did such a big thing there for their team of resetting the spawns. It allows Visored to come back out, regroup, and try to contest the DhillDucks back at the forward spawn. There's a pulse bomb stick. They don't find anyone.
I know, you sound so sad. I know, me too. They don't find anyone, but it does force fast to get out of the literally one. Please punch him. Thank you, Virtue. There is no tank on the side of DhillDucks. And we'll take a trade here for a Maiden. Still looking really good for Visored as the objective is still being carried by their hands. Virtue getting the finally finishing out that Tracer 1v1, getting Riser back to the spot. World's longest Tracer 1v1, average Tracer 1v1 in my Overwatch game personally, but finally a start for Visor to honestly start bringing it back with only less than 3 minutes left in this match.
Yeah, but the DhillDucks right now in a really good spot ultimate-wise. Visor, they really only have these two you see right now. That beat gonna have to be huge here, especially with Tristan and Riser having both their ultimates. And we've seen them pop up here in the past, and now finally you see DhillDucks here try to contest the cart at the spawn point.
Got the Primal there, Baz kind of comes up in the wall, and thankfully the Primal is going to be securing helping Maiden secure something from VDEX. Not too shabby. The loose here, the speed boost is gone. The get out, get in factor may have left the side of DhillDucks, but it's still going to be up to Visor for Zeus to burn up with that sound barrier, and we're going to be continuing onside. I love the wrap around that's going to get each other back in his favor, back for the team of Visor, and we do have the Kitsune Rush being burned here, but unfortunately not going to be seeing too much value off of that as the team fight slows down a little bit, waits for the rest of the team to come back up, and we still have Two Fishes Kitsune Rush, which has, like you has been saying, have been very, very game-changing in a lot of these fights.
Yeah, the Kitsune Rush burn for DhillDucks, but the same thing could be said for the beat for Visored here, but now Visored wants to play fast and they find the value early.
Big pulse bomb. Finally, the last half of the game, we're getting some beautiful pulse bombs. We're going to see Pulse and Kitsune extended here as we finally get the first checkpoint on the side of Visored. And honestly, forward spawns are also be such a great factor for them as well. DhillDucks having to kind of, find a way to bring this ball back in their hands. We have Overclock ready, and Maiden has been very, very consistent with clicking some heads and getting something started from Overclock. Like I said, oh my god, I'm so good at testing when pop. That is a beautiful usage of the Overclock. Gets rid of Tristan on the back end, who was kind of caught in the high ground against the entirety of Visor. Now we have to use VDEX has to burn off with that sound barrier, and everyone kind of backs up, resets a little bit. We go back to the corner. The bot does not know where to go. We are seeing some poke action happening on a dive combo.
Yeah, and Visor needed to back up there just to heal up Lava here a little bit, who's close to that primal rate. Same thing with Zoom there, close to a beat here, but Frosty starting off with the Kitsune Rush here. It needs to be big here for DhillDucks, because this could be final fight.
This absolutely should be. Less than 30 seconds left on the clock, and Lava, man, did not even get a chance to see it go to 20 seconds. For Seal, also the Primal is ready for Baz in the long run, so if he goes low, they are just fine in interacting with the rest of Visor. Now the bot is starting to be pushed forward. We may not even have to push it all that often. Only sub 10 seconds left. Do we have anything for Visor? We do have a sound barrier. We have a Kitsune Rush. We have a Primal. Then Kitsune Rush, it gets burned right here for his last minute team fight. Someone is going to have to get out of here. Baz gets the Primal force out of them as they start to get some great picture. Two Fish being one of the best. Their main support is gone. Now we've jumped onto the objective where Tristan is setting up very nicely with the overclock, and man, we are clicking heads for Jay. Tristan gets not one, but two people. Tries to get hit by the Visor, but by the Primal, but instead gets the last laugh here with the end of that overclock. And it's going to be DhillDucks securing the W on Esperanza and also securing a beautiful 3-0 in the series.
Yeah, and honestly, again, I talked about it in Hollywood here. Visored, they started to pick up some slack there towards the end of the map, but it's just DhillDucks able to find ways to win every time, and this time it really just came from Visored, maybe investing some ultimates at the wrong points there. I talked about the beat, the Kitsune rush there from Twofish at the end didn't do enough there to keep him alive, and also that Primal Rage from Baz getting rid of Twofish early was probably the first nail in the coffin there to end this series. But I mean, an incredibly close series, but at the end of the day, a 3-0 is what you want for either side. DhillDucks, though, are the one that will get that, and when you look back at it later on, you could say it was a blowout.
It absolutely was. I mean, if within, like I said this earlier, within each of the games, they were so close and everyone was fighting for their lives. But at the end of the day, it is gonna be the DhillDucks getting it another 3-0 on the scoreboard here. We have had clean 3-0s all day, may I say. Not quite night yet, but that does conclude this series, and that does conclude the rest of the stream. So, of course, congratulations to DhillDucks for the 3-0. Any final words, Dax, before we head out?
No, I think this was a great series from both teams. I think this Visored team will make some noise here. They went up against the DhillDucks here, and it was a very, very close series. Just want to give a quick shout out to everyone behind the scenes before we go. January, Jerry, Mr. Mountain Mike, THZ, Whispers, and I believe that's Poofa in there as well. They all did a great job getting everything that you guys saw throughout this stream here on both games. Actually, they did a great job throughout that. Thank you so much to them, because without them, this would not have been possible.
Absolutely. And again, thank you to everyone for tuning in and watching, and we'll see you guys later for some other games. But in the meantime, please have a great night, and we'll see you guys soon.